Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. Was talking with TJ and a friend of ours today, right after I was watching a video that the bear did on, and I didn't get through the whole thing, on multiple levels of food storage or equipment storage or something like that. Not having all of one's eggs in one's basket. And then a conversation that we were having today at lunch went along the lines of the different levels people are at. Some people are very much concerned with something like, what knife do I put in my bug out bag? Should I have this knife or this knife? And other people are thinking about what form of government is going to exist after Teotihuacan, like what's going to evolve from that. And that's where their head's at. In what I'm going to say, I'm not saying one's right and one's wrong or anything like that. I'm just saying this is what I've been thinking about, and maybe you could do some thinking along these lines too. And it's this. Have you heard the phrase, one man's ceiling is another man's floor? One man's upper standard is another man's lower standard. There's always somebody better than you at what you do. I don't see that as intimidating. If someone's better than me at something that I do, I see that as this is a person that I can learn from so that I too can get better. But I think that most people are not aware and do not concern themselves with levels of anything really, except maybe what kind of car they drive or purse they carry or shoes they wear, because Clarissa got the new, whatever brand name shoes. I'm all about constantly improving my position and encouraging you to do the same thing. Constant forward motion, constant, personal community development, always doing better, always doing more. And which is not to say that I am unsatisfied with where I currently sit. I'm very happy. But I think the second that we start resting on our laurels is the second we begin to die. I raised my kids. One of them had a fairly hard time in high school peer-wise. All three of my kids were valedictorian, and the one was definitely on the outs with the cool kids. And it was one of my daughters. And I told her, I said, hey, look, don't worry about these people. A lot of these people, when they leave high school and they're my age, they'll be talking about high school. About, do you remember when we did this thing, man? Do you remember when we won that game? Do you remember when I was the beauty queen? Whatever. I said, you're going to college, and people don't even think about high school after they've been in college for a year. And I said, and check it out. When you graduate college, there will be people who spend the rest of their life talking about those cool things they did in college. I said, there's people who are retired Special Forces guys, Green Berets, and they spend the rest of their old time life talking about back when they were on a team, man. You should be happy with what you've accomplished. You should be content with it, but man, you should never stop going. There's always another bridge to take, another hill to climb, another achievement to claim. And so it goes with preparedness. You're not prepared enough. I'm not prepared enough, and I am more prepared than 99% of the people in the world. And I'm not prepared enough. There's more to do. There's always more to do. And we were talking today about lifestyle versus hobby. That's a big one. And like I said, I am being judgmental in a way, but I'm not being judgmental. And I fully realize, I guess by not being judgmental, what I mean is I fully realize that there are other ways of looking at life that are as valid. okay? Some people, they go buy a year's supply of food, they put it in a closet, they stick a shotgun in there or an AR-15, 1,000 rounds of ammo, a couple cases of water, a bug out bag, and man, they're good. It's time to go golfing, right? And they're happy with that. That's a level. It's a pretty good level. You know, really, you got a year's supply of food, some firearms to defend yourself, some water. Probably at that point you'd have some medical stuff, you know. You're a prepper, right? You got the things, you got it sorted out, man. You got the best of the best. You could stop there and be better off than 90% of the people. But there's another level, right? That is, what do we do when this food runs out, assuming we're still alive? That leads you into homesteading, right? And some people start homesteading small and then go big or whatever, but it leads you into producing your own food. Okay, that's a level. Not many people are at that level. What's beyond that? Joining up with other homesteaders, having people come live on your homesteader in an intentional community, that's a level. Talk about that a fair bit. What's the level after that? You got your perfect crew living on your perfect piece of land. You're all growing and producing 90% of the food you eat. What's the next level? Maybe finding out other people like you, making alliances, getting to know the mayor in the next town over, getting to know the chief of police in the next town over, having some community meetings with other interested parties who are still gonna be around when the balloon goes pop. What's the level beyond that? It's all circles. Start making your circle here, 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 here. It's all circles. Skill sets. Way too many Americans. It's an American fault to equate equipment with skill. I was talking with TJ about this today too. You know, I've got my Glock 21. You know, people say, oh, that's a Generation 4. Okay, I guess. Yep, it says it on there, Gen 4. Like I care. Having a Gen 4 Glock 21 like Pastor Joe doesn't make you shoot like me. How well do you shoot the guns that you own? I shoot them good. I'm really good, putting holes in cardboard. How good do you shoot when you had to run down this mountain, up that mountain, back down that mountain, back to this mountain, and then low crawl and 3-second rushes for the last 100 feet, and now you've got that, you know, 15-yard, 4-inch target to hit? How you doing now? How are you doing when you've just been socked in the side of the head? You're on the ground, you've got to roll over, draw, acquire your target, and shoot, and not hit the little girl. How good are you at that? You see, there's levels, there's levels, there's levels. I'm gonna talk when I break down this last Viking training task on building fires. How good are you at building a fire? Just a regular fire. Can you do it in the rain? Can you do it in the pouring rain? Can you do it when everything's covered with ice and you don't have a lighter or matches? How do you know? There's levels to skills. We're all wired differently. But I take pleasure. I take pretty great pleasure in learning new things. I like it when I learn something new, and then I like it again when I feel like I've pretty much mastered that new thing which I learned. Like, oh yeah, I got this 3 ways from Sunday, man. That's a pretty good feeling. That's where I derive my self-worth. What do I bring to the table? I can do this. I can do this. But I think I've got a lot going on in my head right now, and I'm trying to parse it in a way that's understandable without going off the deep end. I think to do well as a person, as a family, as a crew, as a group, as a tribe, as a nation, I think our nation's going to fragment, quite frankly. I think to do well in what's coming, the bigger view one takes of it, the better. The more advanced preparations of various kinds, from physical preps like food to spiritual preps, getting right with the Father, to emotional preps, learning how to deal with stress and sadness, intellectually, learning and acquiring new information, processing it and acting on it. All of those things, I think the more that you can develop yourself, the better off you're going to be. But I think way too many people are caught up in this world of shiny things and pursuing the almighty dollar so that I can buy the new car, go on the cool vacation, buy the big house. To what end? What's living? Comes to that too. What's living? What's the purpose of living? I know what the purpose is. These are the fat times. These are the times that you have the luxury of being able to think the big thoughts. There's a reason that hunter-gatherer cultures never really developed in the way of arts or great thinkers or anything like that, because it's a hand-to-mouth existence. If you are constantly searching for calories, and it is a zero-sum game when you're a hunter-gatherer. I got to walk over there to catch a fish. I got to walk up there to get some blackberries. How many calories were in that fish and how many calories were in those blackberries versus how many I expended to do it. The people who had time to think the big thoughts were the people who lived in systems and developed great art, were the people who lived in systems that worked, where the agriculture was provided and the security was provided, and life was more normal as we think of it in the 21st century. So you have time to sit back. Well, we have time now. I mean, heck, your water comes out of a spigot. It comes out hot or cold. You can drink it. You can turn the light on, you can turn the light off. Changing the temperature in your house is this. That's it. That's all you have to do. Preparing your food is easy. It takes no time or effort. So you have time to think the big thoughts, to plan ahead. And I just wonder what a lot of us are doing with that time. What are we doing? Because we're going to look back on this beautiful fat time of peace and security and happiness and health. I think we're going to look back on it and be like, wow, we never knew what we had back then. And so I appreciate it. I take pleasure in every day, but I also try not to squander this time. I try to constantly move forward, constantly get to the next level, take it to the next level, but I really mean it. What is the next level? You are currently at a certain position in all these different aspects of your life. Do you even know what the next level is? And what are you doing to get there? I could shoot a video from 180 degrees out and talk about a life of perfect contentment. Wow. I don't want to achieve the next level. I'm very happy where I am. Nirvana. I am without desire. Know this. Wherever you're at, there are people doing more, and there are people doing less. You're not alone in the big spectrum. Where do you want to be? It's your life. You get to choose. All right, make it count. I'll see you out there.